Is offering a $10,000 reward for information about a missing girl. Police say 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart was taken at gunpoint from her Salt Lake City home at 2 a.m. local time Wednesday morning. The kidnapper apparently forced his way through a window while Smart's parents were asleep. The man allegedly told Smart's little sister he'd harm Elizabeth if she said anything. Because of the threat, the sister waited several hours before alerting her parents. Police have been interviewing her friends to see if they can get more information about her kidnapping.
James Kopp, the man accused of killing an abortion provider in Buffalo, New York back in 1998, maintained his innocence in court today. Kopp was extradited from France early Wednesday morning, then was arraigned in Buffalo on federal charges. He pled innocent to the charges today while the victim's widow, Lynn Slepian, looked on. Kopp wore a bulletproof vest during the proceedings. Kopp's attorney says thousands of people have offered financial support for Kopp's defense. In the third day of deliberations Thursday, the jury in the Michael Skakel murder trial made several requests. The jurors wanted the judge's instructions regarding conviction or acquittal repeated along with testimony from several witnesses. The judge also asked to hear the prosecutor's closing arguments again. It's not yet clear whether the judge granted all of those requests. Michael Skakel, who is the nephew of Ethel Kennedy, is charged with murdering Martha Moxley in 1975 when both of them were 15 years old. If convicted, he could face 10 years to life in prison.
Checking the latest developments as America fights back, New York State's bioterrorism response plan has been approved by the federal government, paving the way for distribution of $60 million in federal funding. As part of the plan, Oneida County will receive more than $285,000 in federal money. Herkimer and Otsego counties will get $85,000 each. The money will be used for development of comprehensive training and education programs, as well as emergency preparedness and response plans for potential bioterror attacks.
More of the latest developments now. FBI Director Robert Mueller says his agency needs more weapons, money, and agents in the fight against terrorism. His remarks came shortly after it was learned what President Bush will propose a major restructuring of Homeland Security. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld says the U.S. and its allies can't wait for absolute proof of a possible terrorist attack before taking action. At a meeting of NATO's defense ministers in Belgium, Rumsfeld said it's only a matter of time until terrorists gain access to weapons of mass destruction. And Attorney General John Ashcroft says monitoring foreigners who enter and leave the U.S. is a first line of defense in the war against terror. He says a new system involving fingerprinting and photographing people at the border will track 100,000 in the first year. Now stay tuned for further developments over the next 90 minutes and on World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Back here at home, the Home Ownership Center is kicking off a new initiative, a partnership with the insurance industry. Today, the National Insurance Task Force took a bus tour of Utica. The tour covered 13 miles of city streets, stopping at homes that have been newly renovated with the help of the Home Ownership Center. Also, as part of the tour, insurance representatives from across the country got to hear about revitalization plans for the future and how much work it takes.
Just from the start to finish, it takes roughly a year just to do one house when we do a full rehab on it. And we'll put about $90,000 into the home, but it'll be sold to a first-time home buyer for about $50,000 or less on the basis that they will live in it for a minimum of 7 years.
And new at 5:30, we'll hear what the National Insurance Task Force would like to do in Utica. While some locals create curb appeal through renovating old homes, folks in New Hartford are finding out it's easier being green. After all, they are officially a city of trees, a town of trees, that is, planting more than 60 trees a year. They are celebrating their 20th year as an all-American tree city.
This is quite a special commemorative because not that many villages or cities even make it this far. And it takes quite a commitment on the part of the villages, including the citizenry and also the elected officials and the maintenance department to maintain the status. Scores of residents, local officials, and school children filled New Hartford's Village Green for today's celebration.
By the way, not only is New Hartford filled with lush trees, but the village also beautified streets today by hanging petunias from every street lamp. A little chilly out there today to be planting petunias.
Kind of go inside, and it's kind of gray, but we've got better things coming. In fact, as we head through the next several days, it looks like we have a very, very nice stretch of weather coming to central New York. Let's take a look at how the next 24 hours are going to pan out. We are going to have temperatures falling into the 50s, and we'll have some scattered drizzle amid mainly cloudy skies. Those clouds are going to start to clear out overnight tonight, and patchy fog will develop by morning. Lows will be kind of chilly in the 40s. But tomorrow, the sun shall break out. We'll call it nice stuff. There'll be plenty of sunshine to allow temperatures to rise into the 70s. And that's only one of, I think, several days that will make a very nice stretch of weather all the way through your weekend. We'll give you all the details in a few minutes. Steve and Lisa.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Nice stuff. I think we can handle that.
Yep.
All right, well, you've all heard the term handyman, but that phrase may soon need to be retooled. Coming up at 5:10, we'll take a closer look at the new home improvement fever among women.
And a little later on at 5:27, our friends from the Rome Humane Society stop by for this week's Pet Savers.
But first, a Rome business keeps growing. The details come your way next. Stay with us.
WUTR Channel 20 wants to know your stories. Call us at 797-5222 with the stories you'd like us to check out.
This portion of WUTR Channel 20 News is brought to you by ABC ChemDry.
More local news for you at 5:08. A local business is expanding with a little help from local government. Artronics in Rome makes custom cables for everything from subway doors to high-tech computers. And now they'll do it with 2 more employees.
And gave us the incentive to actually do this. We were concerned that we didn't have proper financing to do it, and this has been a big help.
Rome Mayor Joe Griffo says that small businesses are an important part of diversifying his city's economy. We'll hear from him new for you at 5:30.
Anyone who has ever used a butter knife to tighten a screw or the heel of a shoe to hammer a nail knows the true value of tools.
And it takes only one trip to the hardware store to see there have been some changes, not only in the products available, but as Christie Ferr takes a closer look in the customers who buy them.
Forget the phrase handyman. It's all about handy women these days. Sales of home improvement goods are booming. Nearly $190 billion last year, and half of those sales are to women. And as the business is increasing, the tools themselves decreasing as manufacturers create new spins on old standbys.
Tools are made a lot better today than they were years ago. They're made lighter, easier to use. The mouse here that Black & Decker's come out with, it's got a nice, easy grip here while you're sanding, and the sandpaper just sticks right on the bottom like a Velcro.
And other hot buys, like the little cordless drills with auto reverse and adjustable torque settings, are not only catering to female buyers, but to the expected annual 4% growth in consumer demand for hand tools in general. Experts like Lou Manfredini, otherwise known as Mr. Fix-It, says the right tool is everything.
You know, for the beginners in home improvement, the big question is, well, what do I need? You go into the hardware store and you just don't know. There's huge shelves. Manufacturers have said, all right, listen, we know kind of what you're going to do as a beginner, and they put together kits. I mean, a hammer, a staple gun, a retractable knife, a tape measure, pliers, and screwdrivers. You got a decent set of tools that you can do just about anything with.
And as for the 50% of us who plan the big painting project this summer, don't just think paint. Make sure you have the right prep tools for sanding, caulking, and patching those walls, which makes up for 90% of that effort. And the pros say whatever you do,
don't head to the hardware store and buy the cheapest brushes or the cheapest rollers that they have sitting on the shelf. Here's an example. A good China bristled brush. You're going to spend 15, 20 bucks on this brush. But you know what? The difference, the way this brush is going to lay the paint onto the walls is going to be remarkable.
Some good advice that you shouldn't brush aside. In New York, Christie Ferr reporting.
Definitely some very good
Yeah,
tips
some
there.
good advice. House I bought was a fixer-upper, so a lot of good advice. They said a lot of things in home improvement you definitely get what you pay for. So things that you really need, you don't really want to skimp on. You have to
very true.
Have to bite the bullet, as it were, but it pays off in the end.
Well, Mike Cameron's in next with his updated storm team forecast. Taking a quick look at the weather right now at 5:11. It is 63 degrees here in the Mohawk Valley. You're watching WUTR Channel 20 at 5 o'clock.
Now, weather coverage you can count on with Storm Team meteorologist Mike Cameron.
It's 5:14 on WUTR Channel 20 at 5 o'clock. A hard rain in Asheville, North Carolina has left the west side of the city slightly submerged in water. The rain seemed to come from nowhere, and when it ended, many motorists found themselves driving through the water that was almost over their tires, which of course is not a good idea. Some cars were left stranded because of this, and some children even use this opportunity as well. You can see there that quite a bit of rain did fall. Yesterday, quite a bit of rain fell in some areas of eastern New York with some severe weather. Things have quieted down considerably, but still, we've kept the clouds and temperatures have been cool because of that. Readings only made it into the lower 60s across central New York and have held in the 50s through parts of the Finger Lakes today, all because we have a very persistent cloud cover and yes, even some drizzle and some showers across parts of the area. We take a look at our satellite visible satellite imagery. Let's flip the words around here to show what has been occurring. The reason why it's a little bit warmer to the north is they've seen some sunshine, but where the clouds have persisted because of that weather front that brought the severe weather yesterday, that's where temperatures have been held back. And you can see all day long as we go through time here, the clouds have been streaming in from the west and the southwest. You can see these thin, wispy sort of images up here. That's actually cirrus clouds that you can see all the way moving up into the Adirondacks at this time. But this system is finally going to really leave its mark and then move on out of here. You can see that the clouds are really starting to move now to the east, and clearer skies do exist out over the Great Lakes. This is the start of our very nice stretch of weather we mentioned just a little while ago. We will see this coming in here as we head through time tomorrow as high pressure does build in from the west. So a mild day tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, allowing temperatures to rise into the 70s, I think. And as high pressure remains, relatively speaking, in control, I think we'll see, relatively speaking, a nice day even for Saturday. The only little wrinkle in that is going to be just perhaps a few more clouds coming by for a short while as the little system moves by. But overall, I think it's going to be a nice day for Saturday as well. Pretty warm, temperatures between 75 and 80, and of course, Saturday is the relay for life, at least the first day of it. So I think once again this year, they'll be winning out with another pretty nice day out there in all of the three sites that they've got across central New York. Clouds breaking apart this evening. Temperatures will be in the 50s, and overnight tonight, down into the 40s we go. We'll have some patchy fog. Your day tomorrow, a nice day, I think, by afternoon. Great stuff, in fact, with temperatures. And as we take a look at the rest of the week and into the weekend, Saturday, maybe a few more clouds in the sky, temperatures in the 70s, and then as we head in towards Sunday, near 80 degrees with plenty more golden sunshine, and I hear laughter there in my ear. I think people are relatively pleased with the forecast. Steve and Lisa.
I think you're right,
Definitely.
Mike. A lot of golden sunshine, can't complain about that. I guess maybe it is worth a giggle. Let's check some events happening out and about this Saturday at the Vernon United Methodist Church. Come out for a book and bake sale. It starts at 10 o'clock and runs until 2 in the afternoon.
Also on Saturday, there is a Friendship Craft Festival. It will run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Spring Park, located on Route 20 in Richfield Springs. The event is sponsored by the Church of Christ Uniting. For more information, all you have to do is call 858-1709.
And coming up Sunday, there's ASO soccer registration in Mohawk. It's for all incoming students in kindergarten through 6th grade. Head out to the Casey Warner Soccer Field in Mohawk from 1:30 to 4. For more information, you can call 866-6557 or 866-4678, or you can log on to WUTR20.com and click on today's news calendar.
The importance of community in the Battle of the Bulge, next in our special series, Overstuffed Nation. You're watching WUTR Channel 20 at 5 o'clock.
This portion of WUTR Channel 20 News is brought to you by the Tenney Media Group.
In today's Wellness Wire, a study says a blood thinner that works slightly better than aspirin at preventing repeat heart attacks or strokes is not worth the extra cost when used long term.
Researchers looked at aspirin at 4 cents a tablet, the drug Plavix at $3.22 a pill, and a combination of the two. The researchers at the University of California, San Francisco say aspirin by itself was cost effective. They say Plavix alone or with aspirin was not. The study is in the New England Journal of Medicine, but a separate cardiologist says the assessment is premature. He says long-term use of Plavix has not been tested in patients and the medicine is not prescribed that way. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 60% of Americans are overweight, 26% are obese. Losing those extra pounds is rarely easy.
So how can Americans shed those pounds and reduce their health risks? In part 3 of our series, Overstuffed Nation, we take a look at what a difference a community makes. What was the fattest city in 2000? Houston. In 2001, you guessed it, Houston. So what are they doing to change it? Welcome to Philadelphia. It only took Philly 2 years to move from number 1 to number 4 on the Fat City list. Mayor John Street led the charge.
We were too fat and believe that our city could use this whole report as a source of motivation and inspiration to do the right thing.
So in 2000, he appointed Gwen Foster as Philadelphia's health czar. Her job is to whip the city into shape and get them off the fat list and onto the fit list.
And Philadelphians are first at many things, so it hasn't been difficult getting them to come aboard.
Their first goal, to lose 76 tons of weight.
The average of weight loss amounted for the 26,000 people that we've managed to track about 5.3 pounds per person.
That's nearly 69 tons, or about 138,000 pounds. They added bike routes to city streets, designated walk to school and work days, and public weigh-ins. Foster finds already existing groups and implements exercise programs.
If it's not accessible, it's not going to happen. So that means that we go to our faith-based groups, to churches, synagogues, mosques. We carry this program to schools.
Tanya Moody is one of the success stories. She's lost nearly 70 pounds.
I feel more confident. I feel comfortable about the clothes I wear.
The community helped her. Now she's helping others.
I know that I've motivated a lot of individuals from them seeing me and telling me, you look great.
And the stories that I get about people who have very quietly in their own special way adopted healthier lifestyles are unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
Believe it or not, this is one city that's winning the fight against fat. And to test the value of community when it comes to weight loss, join an online weight loss group. Just log on to WUTR20.com and click on today's news calendar.
And don't forget, if you have a health question for our panel of experts, make sure you write to us here at the station. The address is right there on your screen. It's WUTR Channel 20, P.O. Box 20, Utica, New York, 13503.
In tomorrow's Health Breakthrough, new ways to keep seniors' minds moving.
Well, we're working on these stories for WUTR Channel 20 at 5:30. Who says dreams don't come true? Coming up, we'll meet a local man who's always wanted to be a bus driver. Today, he got his chance. And we'll remember an inspirational little boy who lost his battle to cancer, but his memory lives on.
Then in sports, the Mets wrap up their series with the Braves in Atlanta. Chris Watson has the highlights. It's all next at 5:30.
Coming up in this week's edition of Pet Savers, you will meet this guy who is absolutely precious. Look at him. He's a little bit big, but you know what? He's pretty friendly. We'll introduce you to Drake. Also, Tiger is here. That comes up next. Pet Savers is after the break.
But first, take a look at the Midday New York Lottery numbers. Today's winning numbers, 552. The Midday Win 4 numbers, 8658.
And remember, you can catch the Midday Lottery drawing every weekday right here on WU Channel 20 at 12:29 p.m. We're coming right back. In today's WUTR Channel 20 reminders at 5:27, the City of Little Falls has issued a boil water advisory effective immediately. City officials remind customers to bring all water used for cooking and drinking to be brought to a rolling boil for at least 2 minutes before using. Time now for this week's Pet Savers.
Here's Chris Watson with our friends from the Rome Humane Society.
Steve and Lisa, thank you. Back for another edition of Pet Savers, joined by our friends from the Humane Society of Rome. This is Drake. He's absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, it was a gorgeous day, so I took advantage, played a little golf. That's why I've got my golf shirt and shorts on for this one, but Robin joins us. Tell us a little bit about Drake. He's absolutely beautiful. A little large, but he's absolutely gorgeous. He's so friendly.
Yes, Drake is a European bare-headed Rottweiler. He originally came from New Zealand.
Okay.
He's between 8 and 10 years old, and you know, when he came into us, he had Lyme disease, and that affects their joints. He was so crippled up that he was worse off than he is now. We've put him on some meds and got that straightened out, and we need to protect our pets in the area and know how prevalent that and heartworm is.
Yeah.
The kitty's name is Tiger, and Tiger has a special need also. Tiger has a little sinus problem.
Okay.
And he's good for 10 or 15 sneezes in a row. And anyone who's had a child with an allergy or sinus, he'd be a great pet for them.
Excellent. Both of these animals are behaving themselves beautifully.
Yes.
We spaced them out a little bit to keep the dog away from the cat, but Drake hasn't taken his eyes off. Tell us what's going on this month and also coming up, obviously, over the summer down in Rome. What's going on?
Yes. For Father's Day weekend, we're doing a promotion with Dad's Products, whereby our adopters will get 3 months of free food.
Oh.
Dad's Products with adoptions, and we are still looking for foursomes and whole sponsors for our golf tournament July 10th.
Excellent. We'll get out and play. I took advantage today. Some of the guys from the station. It was a great day for it. Let's find a home for these guys. This is Drake. He's absolutely precious. That is Tiger. Come see them down at the Humane Society of Rome. Robin, as always, thanks for coming in. Thanks for bringing these guys. That's going to do it for Pet Savers and for WUTR Channel 20 at 5 o'clock, but don't you dare go anywhere. The news continues at 5:30 with Steve and Lisa.